Let's talk about the police, a word that stirs up strong feelings, depending on who you are and where you live. It can mean safety or it can mean fear. It's complicated. In our connected world, a police action in Mumbai can echo in Minneapolis, and a reform in Tucson can inspire London. Police leadership shapes communities, trust, and even history. Today we're going beyond headlines to meet officers who made the badge stand for something more. From India to the US and UK, these are real leaders who didn't just show up for their shift. They showed up for humanity. They saw broken systems and took action, often at great personal risk. This isn't just about shootouts or chases. It's about vision, reform, and building teams that changed policing. We'll explore leaders who knew a police force is only as strong as its connection to the community. These are stories of courage and change that deserve to be told. Stick around to meet some truly remarkable people. Mumbai, a city of dreams and chaos, needed a special kind of police leader. Hemant Karkare was that leader, present, approachable, and deeply invested in his team. He built Maharashtra's anti-terrorism squad, focusing on training, equipment, and morale. On 26/11, Karkare led from the front, confronting terrorists head-on. He made the ultimate sacrifice that night. Mumbai remembers him for his courage and for transforming the ATS. Meet Kiran Bedi, India's first woman IPS officer, a true trailblazer. In 1972, she entered a male-dominated world and made waves from day one. Nicknamed Crane Bedi for towing the Prime Minister's car, she was fearless and unorthodox. Her biggest impact came as Inspector General of Tihar Jail, Asia's largest prison. Tihar was notorious, but Bedi saw potential for transformation. She introduced education, vocational training, yoga, and meditation. Radical ideas for a prison. Her goal, rehabilitation, not just containment. She empowered staff and inmates, giving prisoners a voice and staff a new mission. Bedi built a community inside prison walls, based on dignity and second chances. Her reforms became a global model for humane prison management. She proved empathy and strength can go hand in hand. Bedi's leadership was about empowering others, not just wielding authority. She showed that true justice means seeing the humanity in everyone. Her legacy, a prison transformed, and a new vision for policing. Kiran Bedi redefined what it means to lead with courage and compassion. Mumbai's fight against crime needed a master detective. Enter Rakesh Maria. He led investigations into the 1993 Bombay blasts and the 26/11 attacks, always from the front lines. Maria's style was hands-on, leading raids, interrogations, and mentoring young officers. He believed you can't solve crime from behind a desk. You have to know the streets. Maria built teams around expertise and intuition, nurturing talent and loyalty. He taught that the best investigators combine relentless pursuit with sharp minds. His leadership was about shared purpose, not just hierarchy. Maria's teams were feared by criminals because they were united and driven. He showed that effective policing is about presence, mentorship, and intellectual courage. Maria's legacy is a generation of detectives who learned to lead from the front. He proved that the most important tool in policing is a relentless, inquisitive mind. His impact on Mumbai's safety is still felt today. Rakesh Maria set the gold standard for investigative leadership. Leadership is forged in a split second, like during the Batla House encounter. In 2008, after bomb blasts, Delhi police tracked suspects to Batla House. Inspector Sanjeev Kumar Yadav was part of the team that stormed the apartment. Amid chaos and gunfire, Yadav took command, leading his team under fire. Wounded but undeterred, he set a new standard for police leadership, leading from the front. Leadership isn't always about force, it's about opening doors for others. B. Sandhya, a senior Kerala police officer, saw that policing had to change from within. Her focus, gender sensitization, and making police stations approachable for women and children. She launched Project Disha, a groundbreaking initiative for empathy and inclusivity. Sandhya led comprehensive training on trauma, empathy, and bias for all officers. She promoted women's leadership, knowing diversity changes organizational culture. By mentoring female officers, she created new pathways for advancement. Sandhya's leadership challenged deep-seated biases and built a more compassionate force. She proved that empathy and inclusion make policing more effective. Her work is a testament to the power of visionary, compassionate leadership. Sandhya showed that true strength in policing comes from understanding and respect. She redefined what it means to serve every member of the community. In 1970s New York, corruption ran deep in the NYPD. Frank Serpico, a young officer, refused to look the other way. He stood alone against the blue wall of silence, risking his life and career. When the system wouldn't change, Serpico went to the press. His exposé led to the Knapp Commission and forced the NYPD to confront corruption. Surviving an attempt on his life, Serpico became a symbol of integrity. His legacy, a call for honesty and justice in policing. Chris Magnus changed American policing not with force, but with empathy. As chief in cities like Richmond and Tucson, he championed community policing. Magnus became a national figure for holding a Black Lives Matter sign in uniform, a symbol of his approach. He built bridges with communities, focusing on procedural justice and transparency. Magnus diversified his force and held everyone, including himself, accountable. He empowered officers to be problem solvers, not just enforcers. By building trust, he reduced crime and changed police culture. Magnus faced resistance but stayed committed to reform. His leadership shows that courage in policing means listening, adapting, and embracing change. He proved you can reduce crime and build trust at the same time. Magnus's story is a blueprint for modern, community-focused policing. In London, Dame Cressida Dick became the first woman to lead the Metropolitan Police. She commanded during terror attacks, making split-second decisions that saved lives. Dick's leadership was defined by calm under pressure and strategic vision. She championed diversity, knowing a force must reflect the city it serves. Dick built partnerships with health, education, and social services to address root causes of crime. Her approach was holistic, prevention, not just reaction. She reformed the Met from within, focusing on collaboration and inclusion. Dick's tenure showed that modern police leadership requires strength, diplomacy, and adaptability. She proved that effective policing in a global city means embracing complexity and diversity. Dick's legacy is a more responsive, representative, and collaborative police force. She set a new standard for leadership in the 21st century. After 9/11, America debated how to interrogate terror suspects. FBI agent Ali Soufan, fluent in Arabic and a devout Muslim, knew there was a better way than torture. Soufan used rapport building and deep knowledge to gain critical intelligence. He challenged suspects' ideology with understanding, not force. His humane methods yielded life-saving information, including the identity of 9/11's mastermind. Soufan's approach proved that intelligence, not brutality, is most effective. He faced opposition from within the government but stood by his principles. Soufan built a team that valued ethics and cross-cultural understanding. He left the FBI in protest but never stopped advocating for humane interrogation. Soufan's story is a lesson in ethical leadership and moral courage. He showed that you can fight terrorism without sacrificing your values. His legacy, proving that understanding is the most powerful weapon. In Colombia, General Ricardo Restrepo led the fight against powerful drug cartels. He faced not just criminals, but a parallel state built on cocaine and corruption, Restrepo's strategy, multinational coordination, and a relentless war on internal corruption. He built alliances with agencies like the DEA, sharing intelligence and coordinating global operations. At home, he created vetted, accountable police units resistant to bribes. Restrepo made zero tolerance for corruption the standard. He invested in training, technology, and ethics for his teams. His leadership stabilized Colombia and set a global example. Restrepo proved that fighting organized crime requires both international cooperation and internal integrity. His legacy, a safer Colombia, and a blueprint for global law enforcement. What unites these leaders from Mumbai to London and New York? Moral courage, empathy, and a commitment to reform. They stood up to corruption, led in crisis, and saw humanity where others saw only problems. Their stories challenge the negative narrative about policing and inspire us to demand better. True policing is about justice, compassion, and building trust. These leaders showed that a police force can be a pillar of a just society. The badge brings power and responsibility. The leaders we've met today wielded that power with integrity and purpose. What qualities do you think matter most in a police leader? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments. Let's keep this important conversation going.